Welcome everyone to this live stream broadcasted from Grenoble in France. Today is a very special day for Arturia as we celebrate our 25th anniversary. So thank you very much for being with us on this special occasion. My name is Frédéric Brun. I'm one of the two founders and I'm the CEO of Arturia. I will be your host today. I won't be the only one speaking. Good news for you and for me. And not only will we reflect on the past, we will also celebrate our pleasure and happiness to be here, standing, delivering instruments we love, serving musicians we care about, and we will also be announcing a very important and new product. Arturia started when Gilles Pomeroy, a young man who was studying computer science, and myself, I was studying physical chemistry back then, met in the Grenoble University Orchestra. Gilles was conducting the orchestra, I was playing the violin, and together we created Arturia on the idea that technology could allow anyone to make music. So this is Gilles that you see right now and myself in our very early years. This is us in our 20s when we were both at the university and when we created Arturia. And today we're lucky to have with us Gilles, so we'll be able to tell in the flesh which of us has been aging the best. Salut Gilles.
Salut Frédéric.
Everything's good? Thanks for coming.
Good.
Thanks for coming.
Happy to be here.
We're happy you're here, and we're grateful you drove from Strasbourg to be with us today. We very much appreciate that. So can you tell us a little bit about the start of Arturia?
Yes, you know, back then in the late 90s, to make music, you had to buy a lot of expensive gear to figure out how to connect everything together and to go through a lot of complexity. And so we decided once to work on a new software which would be easy to use, allowing anyone to make music with just a computer. And this is
Storm Music Studio you're mentioning, right? Our first instrument, our first product ever, which was this easy-to-use, sort of complete, comprehensive music studio, virtual in software format, coming with instruments and effects.
A MIDI sequencer, a mixing table, everything was included.
Yeah, exactly. So we have pictures of Storm, but I don't know if you remember, when we worked on Storm, we also worked on a tutorial video with a 3D animation, and we had this character explaining the product.
Hello, welcome to Storm Software. We are going to demonstrate how to set up a recording studio tailored to your musical tastes and needs with Storm. We are now in the composition screen, which shows you the studio you just built. The system's main control buttons, these allow you to turn on the studio, control the beat.
You remember how we were calling this character?
Yes, I think he was Arturio.
Arturio, yeah. It's one of the names because more recently people are calling him the Patator, which could be translated in English into the potato, sort of superhero. But he's a friendly figure reminding us of our early years, the candor, willingness to make things simple. And I remember it took us really a lot of time to render all these animations we just saw. So yes, very, very charismatic and figure for Arturia.
Yes, I think since the start, Arturia always tried to make things simple for the user and fun. And this is what we have managed to keep going over all these years.
Thanks, with the help of all the team. But since you're saying that, it's worth mentioning that you left Arturia after 4 or 5 years. You're still in the strategy committee. You're still a good friend. You come often, but you're not part of the company. And that's nice you came. Thanks again for being here. All right, so after Storm, we went to recreate classic synthesizers in software formats. The first one of them was the Moog Modular that we built with the help of Robert Moog. You remember those days, right?
Yes, seriously, it was such a bold move. I remember we were this tiny French company, and we managed to convince Bob Moog that we would make the best possible reproduction of his legendary synthesizer.
He was such a gentleman and so kind and benevolent. He spent the time with us. He helped us. Eventually, we got to the point that the sound was right for him. It took a couple of years, for sure. This is when we developed also TAE, the set of algorithms that we have, came to be known as TAE, true analog emulation, right?
Yes, it allowed to reproduce the character and the feel of analog circuitry like never before.
TAE evolved over the years with more advanced DSP modeling. We even have machine learning techniques now that we are using for software recreation of analog circuitry. So it's been, a set of algorithms we've been looking after and that are still providing us with, we feel, additional qualities, sonic qualities for our instruments.
Yes, and the Moog Modular V was one of the first VST instruments, and it was sounding better than anything else available at that time.
And I think a part of that also came from the structure, the modular structure, allowing to have much more sonic possibilities for sound designers. So yes, very powerful, very important product for Arturia. There is another one we could mention in our history, which is the Mini Brute. And the Mini Brute is this analog synthesizer.
Yes, the Mini Brute, it truly reopened the market for analog synthesizers. It was bringing something unique below $500 and was a real tour de force.
Yes, thanks. I think the choice of the Steiner-Parker filter, you're right, the format as well, the simplicity, ease of use, sort of immediate access to everything. The price was a very, very good thing for us. And yes, some way the Mini Brute paved the way for other companies to create their own analog synthesizers afterward. And with Mini Brute, I think we've been partly smart, but partly lucky, and notably lucky to have on our side such people as Yves Husson, for example, who's helped us a lot to understand how to make analog right. Someone like Axel Hartmann for design is the one behind this product, but behind many of our hardware products. And through this connection, these people, we learned the way to become a real analog synthesizer manufacturer. Okay, so let's not go through everything. Maybe we can stop just quickly on Origin, because maybe not everyone knows Origin, but this was our first hardware project. It was a very, very hard project because we decided to make a digital keyboard for stage keyboardists. And we ran focus groups because we were trying to make good marketing. And we thought it was great marketing to embed all the features, everything that people were requesting. So eventually, we created this huge, amazing products. It took us 7 or 8 years to deliver the product, so a huge project as well. We sold a couple of thousand, so we never really made money out of that. But still, the owners, I receive message sometime, are still using it. It's a great instrument. We've seen it on stage with such as Rihanna or Lady Gaga, Avril Lavigne, for example. Earth, Wind & Fire have the desktop version. You remember, we had the desktop version and the keyboard version.
Yes, and maybe we can mention a more recent product with Astrolab. It is a software that I love to use personally. By contrast to the Origin, which was quite high-end and elitist, Astrolab is very easy to use and for everyone.
That's true. It's easier to use. Yeah, it's true that Origin was expensive, in a sense elitist, but it was, in my opinion, quite easy to use as well. But yes, Astrolab is used by hundreds of thousands. It's delivered with our controller keyboards like the MinLab, the KeyLab Essential, the KeyLab as well. And we even have a free version of Astrolab now called Astrolab Play.
Yes,
so,
to me, excuse me, it's interesting to see how Arturia tries to simplify the onboarding and the use of their products. And keeps tackling important challenges, trying to solve musicians' real issues.
Yeah, thanks for saying that, Gilles. Especially since you're not part of the company anymore, you're not maybe as suspect as I am of being biased. But yes, this is what we're trying to do: make sure that people make music in a playful way, that they find simplicity in our products, that they find quality as well, sonic quality, notably. And that they can, be empowered to deliver what they want and deliver the best of themselves. So thanks a lot. I'm gonna go on presenting the next part of this keynote today. But thanks a lot for coming all the way from Strasbourg. Thanks, Gilles, very much. And since you were mentioning our ability to tackle challenges and try to empower musicians, there is a musician we've been looking at for some time. Someone we feel has not benefited from all the changes we have seen in other areas of the industry. someone we believe could enjoy much more modern solutions. This person is the stage keyboardist. He is the one we are looking at today with much sympathy, shall I say. There is a growing distance between these two persona, the producer on his computer and the performer on his digital keyboard. With stage keyboards, for sure, you have control, but sounds are limited to something we've known and heard for years. They're actually quite classic, you know. With software instruments, you have access to more modern sounds. Think serum, pigments, massive. On software, you have much more synthesis techniques. They can be granular, they can be additive, etc. On hardware, on stage keyboards right now, it's mostly sample-based, right? So more capabilities on the computer, opening the sound palette more dramatically, notably thanks to much more advanced effects as well. On the computer, you can look for sound in a much more convenient way. On screen, you see our product Astrolab. We just mentioned that with Gilles, allowing you to look for sound by instrument, like the piano, the minimoog, for example, by type, like bass, lead, by sound designer as well. You can use tags, etc., etc. On digital keyboards, you still have to dive through menus with limited capacities to find the sound you need, and often a limited sound set as well. So there is a need for more simplicity, and at the same time, a need for more power. In many other industries, manufacturers have found ways to take benefit of nowadays possibilities, using mobile phones, for example, Wi-Fi, etc., etc. Look at Dyson, how they make their vacuum cleaners or their air purifiers. Withings, with their scales, is another good example. You will also, of course, think of Tesla with their cars. Why not yet in our industry? Why didn't we bring that already? And one of the key issues musicians face, it's still hard to go from studio to stage. Look at this picture. You see Steve Porcaro from Toto. He's using the CSADV on his computer. But how does he get this sound on stage? Of course, he can record it, sample it, but then he loses all the benefits of synthesis. He cannot alter the sound. He cannot tweak the parameters. So how do you go from studio to stage? I guess we all agree. It is time we do something about that. It is time we give stage keyboardists new solutions that build on everything you can do today. It is time we introduce a new product for them to consider. So today, we are extremely happy and proud to unveil Astrolab. Astrolab is a 61-note digital keyboard with quick access to all the sounds you need, classic and modern, a way to browse sounds by instruments, such as the Prophet 5, the piano, or even the Pigment synthesizer, a way to look for sounds by artists as well. We believe Astrolab is a revolutionary instrument. And to introduce it more in depth, I'm calling Lily Jordi and Matt Paul.
Thanks, it's a pleasure to be here. Astrolab redefines the stage keyboard. It allows you to play both iconic and modern sounds. The interface is super intuitive and fun to play with, and it comes with a mobile app and software integration that makes it even more powerful. And we're going to show you all of that today.
Thanks, Lily. My name's Matt, and I'm really excited to show for you all of the capabilities of this brand new instrument. So, of course, Astrolab comes with all of the sounds that you would need on stage, including high-quality pianos, So what's crazy is to hear that and know that our instruments are not sample-based. Our instruments are using physical modeling, making them extremely expressive and easy to shape into the sound that we want. So if I move on to the E piano and play something from our Clean Mark V, which is a physical model of a Fender Rhodes electric piano, I'll play some chords. I start to turn the brightness and the timbre knobs, you'll start to hear that those knobs are affecting the EQ and the hammer hardness of the instrument. Giving us complete control over the kind of sound that we want. So that's of course our B3 organ, and the brightness knob is controlling where the drawbars are. So with that one knob, it takes us from a soft organ sound like I just played to maybe more of a fuller sounding organ, and I might add a bit more Leslie speed here with the mod wheel, and also add a bit more distortion from the effects section that might take us in more of a rock direction.
Nice one, Matt.
Thank you.
And so what makes Astrolab shine even more are sounds that go beyond the typical stage keyboard, and those include iconic analog synths.
That's right. So starting with the bass section, our first patch here is from the Korg MS-20 analog synth, and as I adjust the brightness, you can really start to hear the warmth of that analog filter, which simply wouldn't be possible with samples. And if I change the patch and have a look at another one here, there's plenty of fun to be had by adjusting these macros on any of the 1,300 plus sounds that are loaded into the Astrolab. Mm-hmm. So once we've got the analog synths covered, we might want to have a look at more modern sounds, and by that we can use pigments, which enables us to utilize all of the synthesis engines such as wavetable, FM, granular, and so on. So if I change to a pigments patch here,
Oh, that sounds insane.
that's right. And I might go to the sequencer section and show that once more. The possibilities are endless with this kind of instrument, and it makes Astrolab one of the most powerful stage keyboards ever developed.
And so there are thousands of sounds that you can find on Astrolab, and browsing is pretty easy. Do you want to show us?
Sure. So we can browse by types, instruments, and artists. So if I go into the instrument section here, I can select sounds by searching from over 30 original instruments, including pianos, organs, and synthesizers. So you've got all of the most classic iconic synths such as the ARP 2600, the CS80, the DX7, Juno. Let's land on this Jupiter 8 here and see how that sounds.
Yeah, lovely sound. And so I can also find all of the sounds of the most iconic artists on Astrolab. And this is easily done in the artist tribute section.
That's right. So starting from the top here, I might go to this band, Daft Punk tribute section, and play something that you might recognize.
Yes.
Or I might go to a little UK-based band called Radiohead that I quite enjoy, and I might play something from a patch that I've always wanted to be able to play with. So what's really important for any stage keyboardist is the ability to access sounds while performing. And with playlists, we can organize the presets in songs and use the 10 preset buttons on the front panel to quickly switch between presets.
That's right. And with the Astrolab Connect mobile application, I can prepare my playlist right before a gig, for example, and then load it directly onto my Astrolab.
That's right. So I've prepared a song with 4 patches on it that I'll play for you now with a backing track.
Nice one, Matt.
Thanks.
And so with the Astrolab Connect app, I can remote control my Astrolab and browse sounds by types, by instruments, and by sound banks. So here I'm going to select a type, so keys, and load different presets directly on the Astrolab. And I can also check out the new sounds on the Sound Store. There are over 10,000 sounds on there that I can download onto Astrolab in the Sound Store here. And another really cool feature in the mobile app is that I can load a sound bank and I can play the demos directly in the app.
That's really cool. So now you have Astrolab to play on stage, the Astrolab Connect app to prepare, but there's also this awesome connection to the computer through our Analog Lab software.
When you're in the studio, this is the way to go. Analog Lab is our most popular software with over 2,000 sounds that you can explore and find inspiration with. It makes Astrolab even more powerful as it's a seamless transition from studio to stage. When they're both linked, whatever I do on Analog Lab is directly mirrored onto Astrolab. So here we have Astrolab library, all the presets, and I can make changes really easily to the names or to the effects. Another amazing thing that you can do in Analog Lab is directly drag and drop a preset from Analog Lab onto Astrolab. So here I'm going to take a preset and drag it onto my Astrolab library. And now it's inside Astrolab. Sometimes I really want to go into a sound and change it more in depth. So I can go into Analog Lab, select a preset, open up the instrument. So here I'm opening up pigments, and I can play around with the parameters until I'm happy with the sound. And then once I'm happy with my sound, I can go and create a performance. So here I have my DAW with several different instances of Analog Lab and the preset that you just heard. So I'm going to take you through the track, building it up. Let's go. Controlling the piano. And going back to the lead. And so this gives you a taste of what's possible with Analog Lab and Astrolab.
Thank you, Lily. Very clear. How about we see what other artists are doing with Astrolab?
I love using analog gear. I love using digital gear. And this is why I love Astrolab. This takes care of so many things that I do in a road. Whatever keyboard you want with you, you don't have to worry about it anymore. It's here. Every keyboard that Arturia has emulated and their plugins, this is it.
I love that it's compact and easy to carry, and I can do all of that. But I love the feel of it, actually.
The piano presets are not made through samples, but they are made through physical modeling, which means that the sound is created inside the keyboard.
The Astrolab really helps me get into a zone where I'm actually able to express myself with the music that I have in my head.
It feels massive. It feels very large, just in general. I just feel like I immediately know what to do. It's kind of crazy.
Astrolab, it's a very good synth, especially if you love vintage aesthetic and vintage keyboard. Basically, it's all the good sound of the old time combined in one synth.
The innovative capabilities of this keyboard have kind of revolutionized the game to me. Primarily because I can take sounds that I'm working on at home and literally drag them over into the keyboard and take that keyboard to the session. It's gonna be with me at every studio session.
We're grateful to this incredible artist who brought Astrolab to life in this video. And thank you as well, Lily and Matt, for your presentation. It's a big day for Arturia. It's actually a big day for me as well. I wrote the first memo on what was then called Hard Lab in 2014, 10 years ago. So yes, very happy to see this product coming to market. For us, Astrolab is more than an instrument. It is an invitation to go beyond. It offers simplicity, a vast sound palette, innovative features allowing musicians to focus on what matters most, expressing their artistic voice. Thank you everyone for being part of the Arturia journey. Thank you for attending our 25th anniversary. The future of music performance and production is here, and it's waiting for you to take the stage.